267, everyone. We started out last Tuesday, it was actually. So we were on last Tuesday. We started this page on page 267 with numbers 1 and 2. We discussed those. So we're going to just continue where we left off with number 3 and 3 and 4. Okay, and we're going to work through these together just to kind of get you back in the habit of thinking about these problems and using variables within our equations. All right. Can I have a reader for number 3? It says we do have an add to and then an unknown start. Chloe, can you read?
Patrick was carrying some booklets. His teacher asked him to carry 30 more booklets. Now he has 110 booklets. How many booklets did he start with?
All right, good. So you should have already been thinking in your brains about what the equation is going to be. Okay, you should have thought of a variable that you're probably going to use for it. Okay, remember the type of equation, and then think about that total that we have. Okay, we talked about that last week when I put them on the whiteboard. We want to figure out what that total is because that's going to determine where we want to put our equal sign. All right. Who can kind of help us here and start us with our equation? What we are going to put first, Hayden?
30.
Okay. Think about it this way. Let's backtrack. Let's start at that first sentence. Caden, can you read that first sentence in that story problem?
Patrick was carrying some booklets.
Okay, so Patrick was carrying some booklets. Do we know how many booklets he was carrying? So what does that tell us that we need to do? I'm sorry?
Add.
So if he was carrying some booklets, what makes us say that we want to add though? Some, but do we know how many? So how are we going to add if we don't know how many? Right? So what are we going to use? 10? Where do you see 10 though?
No, 110.
Okay, 110, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Maddie, what would you think? That first sentence, Patrick was carrying some booklets.
110.
Okay. Patrick was carrying some booklets. Do we know how many?
No.
No, we don't know how many booklets. So why are we putting in a number if we don't know how many booklets? So what do we need to have, Carson?
A variable.
A variable. Okay? What do you want to use for variable?
A.
A, sure. We can use A, our letter as our variable. Okay, so we're going to put down the letter A. Because we don't know how many booklets, we have no idea. So we are going to, there's no need for us to write 110 down. There's no need to write 30 down. We're going sentence by sentence is what we're doing, okay? I want to make this as simple as possible. So that was the first sentence. Patrick was carrying some booklets. We don't know how many, so we're going to use a variable. Second sentence, can I have a reader for that second sentence now? Ilana.
His teacher asked him to carry 30 more booklets.
Okay, so his teacher asked him to carry 30 more booklets. So Kilana, what does that tell us about this equation? We have A, what do we need next?
Plus.
Okay, I'll buy that. So we got a plus sign. Why addition though? The order of operation of addition. Well, no, you're correct with addition, but what makes you think that it's addition? You're right, but why did you think it's adding?
Some.
Okay, but in the sentence you read it.
Oh. More.
Yeah, okay. He's carrying some booklets in the first sentence. Then his teacher asked him to carry 30 more, correct? Okay, 30 more means we're adding on 30 more. So A plus 30, okay? Next sentence. Next sentence. Alex.
Now he has 110 booklets.
Okay, so our next number is 110. What's going to go between the 30 and 110, Alex? Equals. It is going to be an equal sign. What makes you think that's where our equal sign goes, Alex?
Now.
Yep. that word now basically gives it away that that's what it equals, okay? He carried some booklets right away, we don't know how many. Then his teacher asked him to carry 30 more, so we're adding on 30, okay? Now he has 110, so that's what it equals. All right, now it's a plus 30 equals 110. We have to go in now and actually find out what our variable equals. All of you go ahead and do so. You guys can sharpen.